Today I am going to be talking about Ahai Energy Healing, what it is, how it works, all of the amazing things that you can do with it. This is the type of energy healing that I personally channel, the type of energy that I work with, and I use it for myself, I use it with clients. It's been so transformational and really incredible, and I wanted to share more about how I started working with this and all the details because I get a lot of questions. So, a little bit of history. I was originally trained as a Reiki healer, and studying Reiki and working as an energy healer was really what opened up a lot of my intuitive gifts. I will say reawakened them. And I got into that whole world really from a history of chronic illness for myself, and also working with a lot of clients really from more of the nutritional standpoint and emotional standpoint. And energy healing just brought everything to the next level. It was really, really beautiful and getting people really incredible results. And from the time when I was trained as a Reiki healer, people would always say to me, I don't know what you're working with, but it's not Reiki. Other Reiki healers would say that. A lot of my clients who had been to different energy healers would keep coming to me and they said, this just feels different. So it was always a little bit different. And I know a lot of energy healers have that experience where they're like, I don't know exactly what this energy is that I'm working with, even though I've been attuned to this frequency, but let's just go with it. So fast forward a couple years, some of my lingering health issues, my guides have been telling me, you need a stronger frequency. A stronger frequency needs to come down. I need to work with that. And so I was really toying with that idea with different energies. And it was in last August, that it was Lionsgate Portal, actually. And my guide said, you need to have a big channeling session. Something big is going to happen. So I went into channel for about 4 hours. It was a really, really in-depth channeling session. And yeah, something big did come through. And this is when I really received Ahai. And I was surrounded by all of these angels and light beings. And I felt like my body was just pure light. And they essentially attuned me to this energy of Ahai. And they said, we're going to attune you to a higher frequency of energy healing. This is very important to come onto the planet at this time, as the frequency of the earth shifts and as the frequency of everyone here starts to shift. As you raise your frequency, the old modalities need to be upgraded. And I touched on this in my podcast about the new age of energy healing, but there are going to be a lot of new healing modalities coming through, and just the way that we approach healing and even just maintaining our energy bodies, our physical bodies, it's really, it's in the process of shifting. It's going to shift a lot. And this energy coming down, they said, all of these angels and light beings, I was just surrounded. It was the most beautiful experience. I felt like I was floating, and they were tuning me to this energy, and I'm feeling all of the activations. And they said, you need to channel this and train other people to channel this energy, because this is energy that works in the 7th dimension and is at the frequency of miracles. And as you upgrade, for many people who haven't found healing, this is the frequency that can help them receive their healing and reactivate their cosmic DNA and upgrade them to the highest frequency available to them at this time. And they started telling me all of these things I could do with it. And that's when they kind of started the training process. And I felt immediately different after that. It was such a beautiful, profound experience for me. And I was like, wow, did that really happen? And they said, sit down, write this down. And they were showing me symbols and giving me names for symbols and teaching me how to use it and what to do with it and how to train others in it. And, if you've been trained in it's Reiki, let's use Reiki as an example, because many energy healers started there or are still working with Reiki. You know that there are certain symbols that you're attuned to, and then you can use those symbols
to activate the energy, to send the energy. And so it's similar to that. So these different symbols and these words, I had no idea what they meant, and I was hearing them and then seeing them, and I'm writing them down. Like, I have no idea what these mean. And they essentially were training me in it. And since then, after that, I would every single day, drop into cosmic school, call in my guides, and be like, all right, show me how to use this. What are all the things I can do with this? How do I train people? And they've just been showing me how to use this energy. And for me, simply anchoring into that energy unlocks so much. There are so many amazing things that you can do with this. And I started sending it to my clients, and people were just experiencing the most incredible results. I mean, I was seeing miracles. I do see miracles all the time, what I consider to be a miracle, where people who are thinking about getting surgery, they've been to all these doctors, and I'm not making any medical claims at all, right? But I'm just saying, I just send the energy and I say, hey, this is just going to rebalance the energy in your body. We're sending a very strong form of energy to you. We'll see what happens. And I kept seeing people who, their wrist they were going to get surgery on, no more. They're like, it's healed. Their hip, their back, a lot with digestive issues and chronic illness, and they're getting this energy, and they're like, wow, things are just going away. I'm feeling a shift. People who had trauma that just kept eating at them. I've had people who are just certain experiences that were very traumatic that they were having trouble healing, and they came in and, like, after that session, I just never thought about it again. It was like this whole weight dropped off me. And I've seen so many incredible instantaneous shifts. And, can never guarantee anything at all. Everybody has a different experience. But for me to see how this energy was helping people and is helping people has just been amazing. And I'll be honest, there's a piece of me that I received this, and I'm like, at first I'm like, well, who am I to receive this? Like, this is really like, and so I wasn't that loud about it. But then I started seeing what it can do for people, and my guides are just like, this is so important to come to the planet at this time, because we have to upgrade our tools. And then for me to experience this in my own life, where I'll send myself healing and I feel the instantaneous shift, and it has unlocked so much for me. And I'll share some different things that you can do with Ahai in a second. But I just want to read something that I had channeled a long time ago. So I channel in many different ways, and this was something that I had kind of dropped into trance and typed out. And I've been going through all of my old notes about everything that they were teaching me, because literally every single day they're like teaching me different things. And I was going back to something from that first week after I had downloaded it. And this is what they said. Ahai healing is a gift from the angels and gods, and only to be used from the highest love and light. It is a sacred practice that no human has ever named before. The divine feminine radiates through this healing, and it will help activate healing from all the ailments that have been rooted in an imbalance of masculine energy. This comes through in your overthinking, your medical system. You're trying to force your bodies in many ways. In so many ways, the humans have tried to control who they naturally are. It is time to come back to yourselves as energetic beings. The Ahai healing will put this back into balance in a powerful way. And so that was just one excerpt. But the key thing is it is working at a different dimension. So Reiki is working at the third dimension. There are different other forms of energy healing. I don't know them all, I'm sure, that work at different frequencies. All I can speak to is what I know of Ahai, what they've taught me, what they've told me many, many times, what I've experienced. And they say over and over again, 7D healing that works at the frequency of miracles. And Ahai means helper, mother, favored by God. And when working with Ahai, it's working with a lot of angels and a lot of divine feminine energies. Very strong in divine feminine energies. And you're working with angels, you're in the angelic realm. There's so much you can do with this energy, and I will say, for me, with my physical healing, something that took me quite a few years to uncover was that, I had tried everything Western, Eastern that I could to heal my chronic illness. And what ended up being the thing that I needed, I mean, I noticed the biggest difference with energy healing, but it was like there needs to be something more. Because of where I was at with frequency, I needed a higher frequency I need to kind of just be like, like high frequency energy to rebalance things, because the Reiki, wasn't doing anything to me really anymore. And then I was receiving, like fifth dimensional healing for a while, and I was noticing, wow, this is stronger. But it wasn't until I started working with 7D, and what's cool about the 7D Ahai is it actually upgrades itself, and it meets the person where they're at in frequency and energetically. So like recently they've been telling me this isn't 7D, this is working in 8th to 12th dimension for me. That's where it's channeling, which is really interesting. But it's just a much stronger form of energy. And think about it, right? Like as we shift in frequency on this planet, all of us are in a big shift. The planet's in a big shift. Our healing modalities need to upgrade, and they're probably going to shift. And I know a lot of new modalities are going to come through. I was talking to a friend who said, wow, this new form of tapping came through for me. And even I was talking to a friend who's a functional medicine doctor, and they were saying that something new came through for them about the way they work with some of their modalities. And so I think we're going to see this in a number of different healing modalities. But with the Ahai, there's so much you can do. So how can this help you? It works like other forms of energy healing, where first of all, so let's say I'm the practitioner. I channel this energy, and I do it mostly. Well, right now I do it virtual, but I do it mostly virtual anyway, even when that's not needed. But I'll do it virtual and send the energy. I'm acting as a channel, sending the energy to that person's energy body, putting it back into balance. It can also be done in person with hands on or above the client. And I'm essentially acting as a channel for this high frequency energy, the 7D Ahai energy, and it can help to facilitate the body's own physical, emotional, and spiritual healing process. It helps to align the chakras, remove any energy blockages, cut cords with it, upgrades the frequency. You can really shift your frequency and make yourself an energetic match for something. It does a lot to reactivate your DNA, reactivates cosmic DNA. People notice a lot of big upgrades and shifts when they work with this. You can use it to clear spaces, clear yourself. I actually use this to send me nutrients, which might sound interesting, but I started toying with this and it was working, where I use the energy to rebalance the nutrient needs in my body, which is, I've noticed an immediate difference, and I've even gotten labs done, which is really cool, to where I've seen the difference, which has been awesome. And I also use this for manifestation. So I use this to shift the energy in my body so I become a vibrational match for the things I want to call in. So I can use this to say, okay, if this is where I want to go, what is blocking me? What needs to be cleared? How can I shift my frequency, my energy to be a vibrational match for that thing? And just charging manifestations, which is really cool. It's also anchoring you into a frequency that allows for, it's hard for me to describe actually, but I think of it as a different way to access the Akashic records. So there's a lot of work in the Akashic records, and it feels like a reconnection with your soul, a realignment with your soul and your soul purpose. Strengthens your connection with source and allows you to connect with much higher vibrational beings. You're tapping into a higher frequency, and a lot of people, when they're working with Ahai, receiving Ahai more, and working with that, you'll just notice that your intuitive gifts really upgrade, your psychic senses get a lot stronger. So that definitely happens as well. There's an unlocking of so many things. This energy is stronger than what most people have experienced before. That's what most people say to me. It's a lot stronger. It works a lot more quickly, so it's faster for me. It's much faster, much stronger effects, sometimes very instantaneous shifts. Like I've been talking to people as I'm sending it and they're like, whoa, I just felt that clear in my body. Sometimes it takes longer though. Sometimes it takes a couple days. And depending on what the person is working through, like other forms of energy healing, maybe it's a few sessions. I mean, maybe it's one time we're getting a big shift. I personally like to work with this energy as regularly as possible just to kind of realign myself and keep myself in balance. And it can also be it can be used though less often than other lower frequency energies. So for example, when I was working with, if I wanted to get a certain result from like 3-dimensional energy healing, that might take me more sessions or more frequency. I won't use that word, more often. I would need that more often than Ahai. So I have a lot of clients who they're used to maybe going to their energy healer once a week. And I'm like, you don't really need that. Like once a month is going to be really good. You'll feel it last much longer. So there's just a lot of really cool stuff you can do with it. And how it feels is some people experience a lot of heat. Some people experience coldness. Some people will feel things like kind of shifting in their body. They might feel a lot of tingling or vibration. A lot of people feel like their whole body is like really heavy, like just like you like melt into the ground or your seat or wherever you are when you're receiving. And there's a lot of astral traveling, so that's another thing you can use Ahai to anchor you into astral traveling, again connecting with higher dimensional beings. But so many of my clients will say, I just blast off. A lot of people love to receive it if they love to like blast off and astral travel, and like they're like, I don't even know where I went, but I was receiving all types of information. So that's one of the other things I love about Ahai, is that it really facilitates people realizing things for themselves. So I have had clients tell me that they've used other things to get those types of visions or get that type of clarity. I'm sure you know what I'm referring to. And they're like, I get a stronger experience here, and I feel so much better during it, and get all the other benefits as well. So it's really, really cool what it can activate for people. And what I love about it is it really meets people where they're at, right? So if it's your first time receiving energy healing, you probably aren't going to feel like you're blasting off into space, although it may be, but it's just a very like loving, clearing energy. Again, it's very rooted in divine feminine, putting things back into balance. It's working from the angelic realm, and literally doesn't send if the conduit isn't in the vibration of love. So that's been something that they've talked to me a lot about in terms of, for me, training other healers in this. So on my end, like I wasn't able to receive this energy until I had done a certain level of frequency work myself, which, always shifting and growing and learning. But it was sort of like, okay, after I had done a lot of that frequency work for myself, now my body could actually hold this energy and be a conduit for it, which is really cool. So this is something that I love, and it was such a gift. It's been such a gift to use this for myself and other people, and I'm excited to train more people in it. And I really think that we're going to see so many different modalities and ways of healing coming through, and we need this. We need new ways. They call it it's like what they say is it's a new type of energy technology. And I think that there's something to that as well, like people, thinking about technology in a different way than what we might already associate it with. So it's a really beautiful, loving, powerful energy, and has changed my life in so many ways. And I use this every single day to like anchor in, access the Akashic records, rebalance myself, clear out any energies, cut all my cords, all that, charge my manifestation. So that's kind of like a hack for me and for people who are looking to heal in a number of ways, and you haven't or maybe you've tried energy healing and you're looking for something a little bit stronger. If you felt like you haven't really felt it, this might be the thing that you really feel and really helps you, you know? So it's really just, I think of it as very much sending a very high frequency energy to the body so that the body can rebalance on its own, and allowing for those upgrades, allowing for that vibrational shift and that reactivation of everything inside of you that allows you to be naturally healthy and high vibration. So I hope that was a helpful explanation of it. And I do group healing circles every month. You can check those out if you are interested in receiving Ahai. I also do Ahai healing circles every month in the membership, the Channel Collective. So that's all included. You can learn more about everything that's in the Channel Collective in the link in the description below. And if you're an energy healer and you're interested in being trained in Ahai, then you can head to my website, and information about that is there to apply for that. So thank you so much for being here. If you enjoy this, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe so you never miss a future video. And I will talk to you next time.